Now I'm starting to come back out of this strike. Pull my head down. Now I'm starting to move here because that tension builds the stress. Stress is long-term tension, and then stress turns to fatigue, long-term stress. Now you're getting to the point where you're out of breath, you're starting to get a little bit sore, you're starting to hurt, so now you're starting to move in that fatigue phase. Okay. Right? So this is where you really have to keep. What's up, guys? Matt Powell with ProMech.com. Tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. One, we're going to be talking about training, moving from tension to stress to fatigue. And we're going to talk about the fundamentals of that when it comes to training and how it actually affects your training dynamics and how you learn and how you train. We're also going to be going through some striking and defending in terms of shots coming in. We're going to be creating a plane with our arms, and we're going to be using our hand to catch. We're going to work through a little bit of that. You're going to see the guys get tension, stressed, and fatigued tonight. You can always go over to Patreon. It's patreon.com/Matt Powell. More than 70 hours of martial art instruction, plus a lot of other topics over there that you can go over to check that out. And if you look down below, we've included a coupon code for ProMech.com. That's PRAMEK.com. You can go over there, check out the ProMech site, and check out that. Use that coupon code, or you can use the coupon code that we put down below. It's good for 1 week only on the Patreon. Get you a little bit of a discount. Okay, on to the videos. Thanks for watching. Don't break it. All right, pause. Now, see, this is where you go from like tension to stress to fatigue, because now you're moving from stress because you're breathing real heavy. And so tension is where you're just doing what we were just doing. Then you get to stress. Stress is tension over time. Fatigue is stress over time. Does that make sense? The longer that you do this, the more you're going to break. So when you first start off and you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this, the longer that you do that, you start to get stressed and you get sloppier and sloppier and sloppier. That's why you want to do it within the first 2 or 3, to be quite candid with you. Because that tension builds the stress. Stress is long-term tension, and then stress turns to fatigue, long-term stress. Now you're getting to the point where you're out of breath, you're starting to get a little bit sore, you're starting to hurt, so now you're starting to move in that fatigue phase. Okay. Right? So this is where you really have to keep in there. That's why I said only throw rights. Just throw rights. Keep it close. Try to catch it within the first 2 or 3. Don't game it, because the guy on the street ain't going to game it. He doesn't know what you're going to do, right? So don't try to game it. Just boom, 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 and just be throwing that straight right into the Iowa thing right there, and try to do it in the first 2 or 3. Don't come out here. Don't start to break. Don't put your head down. Keep it straight. That's where I want it right there, because when you're doing it and you're that close and you're closing in on him, that's where the fight starts to change a little bit. Yeah. Because if he's striking, because in actuality, if somebody's striking, you want to get him in that corner. You want to back him up in that corner so you can work him in the corner. You don't want to be out in the open with somebody, especially when they grab you. You have to have, that's why I talk while you're training, so you're listening, so that you have the awareness to move towards that corner in the future, right? So right now you've done tension, now you're starting to get it stressed, and pretty soon, we keep going, then you're going to get fatigued. And then once you can do it under fatigue, that's when we start moving to other things. So right now, just focus on keeping
in training, do that in fatigue state, so it just becomes
because then you start to move to the next levels and the next level, and then you get up to full scenario testing where you put a full thing on, and then we go find a stairwell somewhere and we beat each other in those outfits. So, but first you got to be able to do it. You've had a long day, you're tired, you just ran one of your 100K, 100-mile races or whatever you did, and you get back to the car, and that's when, Johnny Two Time's going to come up and say, hey, I need your stuff, right? So just keep it close like you were at the very beginning. That's where I want it, the very beginning. Okay. So now that we've done that, just go slow. Now we're starting to add these into it right here, the thing that everybody loves, right into here, right? So the biggest challenge that we had is what we tend to do is further that it goes on, the more that we start to bend over. And this is a common problem for everybody, because they start to bend over more and more. So what we have to do is that we have to keep our back straight, because I'm starting to work my way back up through the strike to here so that I start to give myself some options. Make sense? Now I'm starting to move up there. Now I'm starting to move up there. Now I'm starting to move up here. What I'm doing is that I'm not blocking. Just throw it, block, block, block. I'm not trying to block. I'm letting it come in here. So I'm bringing this in and I'm moving it to this point. I'm not grabbing onto the arm like this and trying to do stuff. As that comes in, he starts to throw those lower punches there like that, even when he is moving. So if he grabs the back of my shirt there and he starts throwing it there, I'm starting to get to positions by grabbing here. So I'm here, 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 but I'm not doing this. I'm not doing a karate block in there. I am letting it come in so I can start to get work. Pull me down. Here, if I'm pulled down this much, the more that he pulls me down, the more that the knee comes up, the more that I get hit. So this movement right here starts to, go ahead, give me options. Josh, come around right here. I want you to see what I'm doing. Look at how close I am to his face. If I'm all the way down here, I can't get to his face. Here. That's why I'm not trying to block this. What I'm trying to do is keep my back straight, go for it, there. Now I'm keeping a light grasp on this, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not doing this and holding on. The more feedback that he gets, the more he starts to pull back because I've grabbed him. Because when people get pulled, when they get grabbed, they start pulling backwards. I'm not trying to do that. I'm grabbing light. I'm grabbing like this, like a little meat hook. And I'm using this wedge around here to pull it. So go for it. Here. Now I'm starting to come back out of this strike. Pull my head down. Now I'm starting to move. Here. Go for it. And move up. Here. I'm using a screwing motion. I'm letting it come in, and then I'm opening it up. Here. Make sense? Mm-hmm.